Hi, I am Agnes Eliza Hemsley. Who am I? I'll show you. It says Grandma and Grandpa Manring, Great Grandma and Grandpa Bates, Great Great Grandma and Grandpa Walters, Great 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 Grandma and Grandpa Hodgson. That's me right there, Agnes Eliza Hemsley. Okay, and I lived in Utah with my dad, Job, and my mom, Charlotte. And my dad was married before, and he had a little boy named Job Edward. He had a few kids, but Job Edwards was the one that survived. And so I lived with them. And my mom had another little baby, but that little baby died. And we were very sad, but we will see that little baby again. But then after that, my mom was never really well again, and she died. And we will miss her too. And I was just little. I was like 2 years old when that happened. And so my dad had me go live with just like a neighbor lady that we knew. And I called her Grandma Chandler. That was her name. And I just lived with her, and she was very nice. That worked out really well. I really liked that. And she was a very good kind of a mother to me, even though she was older. Worked out. Oh, my Grandma Chandler. And so my dad got married again. And I wanted to stay here because it was working out so well, but I couldn't. He didn't want me to. So he took me back home, and brother Job too, and he married a girl named Jane, and she didn't have any kids, so we had just us two, and I think it was kind of like she was jealous of how much my father loved me and Job Edward, and it wasn't too bad, but it was just kind of like she was jealous about that or something going on. Anyway, we still lived in Utah, and while we were there, my dad got called on a mission, because you could get called on a mission when you had a family. In the olden days, you could do that. And that's him going on a mission, and he came from England, and he was a pioneer, and he came to Utah, and now he's going on a mission back to England. It's kind of neat, huh? So you got ready to get your scriptures, Dad, got your scriptures, and go on your mission. And little Job Edward got sent up to Idaho to live with some other family, and I got left here with Jane. Steele is her name, and I was, she was, okay, no toys, you're gonna keep you occupied and kind of quiet, so you're gonna knit stockings. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna knit stockings. Get that out of here. And that's what I did for the whole time my dad was gone on his mission. Oh my goodness. It's a very lonely time. It's kind of, I didn't really like that. Anyway, she just wanted to, keep me doing some stuff, and anyway, then my dad came home from his mission. I was so glad. It was like I had a friend back in the house again. Oh, phew, okay. And I also went to school. And while I was there at school, I met a guy, a little boy, named James Steele. That was my stepmom's brother. That kind of weird. And he was a little older than me. And when I was 14, we decided to get married, me and this James guy. And my dad said, no, nah, you're too young. You're going to wait, which was probably a good thing. And so James went to Idaho to get ready for us. And, just get married. And I finished going to school, and I got a little older. That's me growing up. That's what I look like. I got a little older. And as I got a little older, that's what I look like now. There we go. And James and I got married. We decided to get married and move up to Idaho. And this is our wedding picture. So that's us right there. And all we did is came to Idaho, like a Rexburg area, Plano, little town. And we lived with James's dad in his little log cabin, kind of a little sod hut thing going there. And that worked out. That worked out just fine. He already had a house, and so we just used his house, and worked out great. And that's his house. And that's us standing out in front of it. Nice little house, isn't it? Did very well for us. We moved into another house later. It's not the best picture, but it was a nice house too. That was a little bigger house. That made it nice. So we were able to move into there in Rexburg and just live in there. And while we were living there, we had 6 kids, and James and I did. And this is our oldest, Charlotte, right here. And then we had a little girl named Jane, and she died. We will see her again. We will miss her, but we will see her again. And then we had James Hamilton, and then we had Mary, that's her name, and Moroni, we named him Moroni, and Janet, yeah, Janet. And those were our kids while we were living there. And while we were living there, my husband James died. He died too, and that made us sad. We're gonna miss him, but we just kept living there, and his father kept living with us, and he just helped me raise my little kids. And that worked out just fine. He was a good man. He was very helpful. And so I was kind of running the farm by myself. That's how that worked out. But you know what? I know how to work hard and be a pioneer like my dad and take care of things. And we had oh my goodness. We had a badger get this is supposed to be a badger, okay? It's supposed to be a badger. Get into the chickens. And that badgers will eat chickens. And I had to run out to that badger and get my rope, my lasso, and get that badger and tie him up and get him with a lasso. And I tied him to a tree over there and tied him up, and I couldn't kill him. I really couldn't kill him. Let somebody else take care of it. He's still killing the chickens. You shouldn't be doing that. I couldn't kill him. Anyway, I took care of that. And then there was another time, I had a coyote get into the barn. And I had to go after him with my pitchfork and get him out of the barn. I don't want him eating my animals in there. We got to use those animals. And we ran a few rounds on the pitchfork with the coyote, and he got away. He ran away. I chased him out of there. Dang coyote, stay out of my barn. So you learn how to take care of things on your own, you know. And also we got a family picture with about this time, with my dad, Job, was there, and his wife Jane, remember her, had died also. So he was just alone, and this is just who survived of his family. This is me back here. This is Job Edward back there, and this is Job Edward's wife, and their kids, all of these, and this little girl right here, and so that's me, and these are my kids, all of these kids right here. So that was our family picture. That's we're the only 2 kids of my dad who survived. He adopted a little girl named Jane, but she's not in this picture. So that's our family picture right there. And so I got married again. And it was another guy I knew from school in Utah. And his name was John Henry Hodgson. And we had 3 little kids. We had Thelma, and then Florence, and then his name is John, but we called him Jack, little Jack. And so we had 3 more little kids, and so I had 8 kids altogether with my other kids. And my husband, John, went on a mission. He also went on a mission after he had a family. So get your scriptures, John Henry, and head out on a mission. And while he was on his mission, he got sick. And he died. Oh my goodness. And so I had 8 kids all on my own with that farm to raise. And by golly, I raised them. Here's just another picture. This is me and all of my kids. So this is me, my oldest daughter, Charlotte. And then back here is Janet. And that's Moroni. There's James Hamilton, Mary, and then here's my other 3 kids is Florence and Thelma and Jack, little Jack right there. So that is all of my kids, and I finished raising them. And I did the best I could, and I did pretty good. I served in Relief Society and Young Women's. I taught myself to play the organ, and some of my girls did too. And I got 3 of my boys and 1 of my girls on missions. They all started missions. I did the best I just could, you know. And well, after a little while, my dad started to get old. And so I still had 2 little kids at home, Florence and Jack, and we moved down to Salt Lake to stay with my dad. And we just stayed down there and took care of him, helped kind of keep house and stuff, and figure out what needs to be done. And this is, so that's, he has a very nice flower garden. And that's him sitting out in his flower garden. Grandfather Hemsley. That's what he looks like as he's older. And we just stayed there for a little while and took care of him, and it was very nice. And then he died, and I stayed in Utah a little bit longer. And then as my kids started to get older, all these kids I had, I moved back to Idaho, and I'm getting a little older too. And I moved to Idaho Falls, Idaho, and stayed there and was near my children and was very glad to be near my kids. And I'm very glad that families are forever, and we'll see all of our family again.